gentlemen, welcome to the Light at Night podcast. I'm your host, Ed Ferris. And on the second mic, we have Candice. And on the third mic, we have the guy that's chuckling in the background, Saul. All right, guys, how was your week?
Good.
Hello?
Sorry, I opened up some seltzer water and I had a little kick
at the
to
perfect time. All right.
Yuck.
It's I got flavored such seltzer water. It's pretty good. It's black cherry. It's pretty good.
This isn't the New York seltzer, is it?
It's polar, so maybe I don't know.
No, New York seltzer is something from like the 80s or 90s, something like that. No, 80s. Anyway.
Is it sweet or does it taste like Alka-Seltzer?
Well, it has a bit of a sweetness to it.
Yeah, see, that's a good description of it. You know, tasting like Alka-Seltzer. That's what they taste like.
Yeah.
I can't stand them.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, I mean,
so
like,
is that how your week's going? What?
like a big old can of seltzer water. My week's been all right. So I got a new door installed, and so the guy installed it and everything. And like I said, it's just the installer. And after he installed it and everything, he's like, "Well, how's it look?" I was like, "Well," and I was looking at the glass at the top of it, has like little bubbles in it. I was like, so that's wrong. And the guy's like, "Well, I didn't do that." I was like, "Well, I know you didn't do it." I was like, "You're the installer." I mean, that came from the manufacturing. I get that part. I was like, "So who do I call to complain about this?" Because I spent a lot of money on this door, and you know, I want it to be right. So yeah, dealing with that now.
That seems like an unrealistic expectation, Solomon. You should just leave it as it is.
No,
and pay the man more than what.
The man. He's just an installer, so he's already been paid by A&E Doors. I'm going for the manufacturing. You better get it right.
Oh boy!
But no, actually, it was pretty easy. The lady said she would just get in contact with the manufacturer, and they would send out a new piece, and they would install it. So,
oh, that sounds fun.
It should be easy. Should be.
Yeah. All right. How about you, Candice?
It's going great. Pretty uneventful. So, other than seeing some dead ducklings today, things have been good.
I saw that you've been making a lot of cookies.
Yes.
On our Instagram page.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Cookies are so much quicker. Well, everybody in my house waits for me to make cookies. And I make them pretty quick because I just make them from scratch and I've got the recipe down and I add my different things. But trying to get creative and get things together for the craft shows and things coming up. So.
Oh, you're going to go on the little craft shows, are you?
I am. I'm taking cookies and I'm making homemade candles out of mason jars, making different holiday ones and stuff. So
yeah, well,
something exciting with my life, you know.
My wife dragged me to those last year. I mean, the first two is all right, but after that, I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. Ed, how was your week been?
I'm just glad that Candice turned the corner on the dead ducklings because I wasn't sure where she was going with that. She went from dead ducklings to cookies.
Well, I went to the cookies because I was like, okay, well, that's kind of a downer, Candice. Let me just go ahead and put a little ray of sunshine in your life there. Talk about cookies.
Hey, you asked me how it was going. I was just telling you how my day went. I mean,
well, let me tell you, I'm dying slowly.
She's in there crying.
Yes.
Well, I got a funny little story about what happened the day after the podcast after I ranted about Canada. So I go to the park with my wife and kids, and I'm walking down this path, and it's going downhill. And I got sweat in my eye, and I guess I kind of lost where I was at, and I stepped off the path, and my foot just kind of like went down, and then I was like wobbling, and then I lost my balance, and I was going forward, and I was going downhill, and I hit I hit the ground, and I hit the ground hard. Because
Yeah.
I had a cooler in my hand, I had my key fob in the other hand, and the guy in front of me, he like looked back immediately. He's like, "Are you all right?" And I like did the roll like football players do when they go down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my wife said, I didn't see you," because but I heard you smack the pavement,
Yeah.
and I have bruises all up and down my leg, my elbows all skinned up, my back. Yeah, it was a hard fall. So, maybe I shouldn't go so hard at Canada, but you know what? I'm going to continue to do it. So
I thought you were going to say that you got attacked by a Mountie or something in the woods. Or you going?
yeah, I got maple syrup thrown at me.
I got attacked by a Canadian goose on the way over.
Yeah, they waterboarded me by making me listen to Drake for 17 hours straight. Yeah.
Wait, is Drake from Canada?
Yes.
Is he really?
Yes. Yeah, he was in that show, Degrassi High or whatever. Degrassi,
Yep.
I don't know how they say it. You know what? I don't care how they say it. It's Canadian. No, I was thinking that there is a couple of things I like from Canada.
Yeah.
Like Rush, Smallville. That was Canadian, right?
Think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was on the CW.
Yeah.
I was really surprised that it was actually good because most Canadian stuff I don't really, but you know what? There's probably stuff out there that I just don't know. If you tell me it's Canadian, I won't watch it anymore.
I didn't know Rush was Canadian. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
So, what are we talking about today, Ed?
We're going to be talking about what era you would have liked to have lived in. So it could be the Renaissance, the I don't know. That's
Stone
about
Age.
all I can say. The Stone Age, yeah. Yeah.
Well, Candice, since this is your idea, I think you should go first this week.
All right, I think I should have went first before we went off on that Canadian thing again. But anyway,
I kept it short. I wasn't mean.
I want to go back in time to the era before this Canadian thing came about. That's where I want to go.
Oh, thanks for stealing my joke. I wanted to go before Canada existed. Yes.
I just meant before your Canadian rant. You can go all the way back there if you want. If it keeps your rant gone, then we'll do it. We'll go, man. We will go. We will support you. So, the time period that I would like to live in the most, other than it would have been really cool to live when Jesus was here for the obvious reasons, but aside from that, the Old West.
Okay, like 1800s.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe a little bit sooner than that, but yeah, I think it would have been awesome. I could have been a cowboy.
Yeah.
A cowgirl, because I don't want to be a boy. I still want to be a girl.
So you're talking about that you would like to go. I thought you I thought you were saying like if you were suddenly zapped somewhere and you had to choose somewhere, like an alien or something gave you an option like I'm going to put you somewhere, and you would choose the Wild West, right? Is that what you're saying?
I think if I wasn't scared to death because the alien was zapping me somewhere, yeah. I think that's where I would choose.
Well, whatever.
I don't know.
So some kind of magical creature, god, I don't know. I'm just saying something has power to send you back in time. You would choose 1800s.
I would like to live in the Wild West days where you could go in, rob banks, rob trains, there were no cameras and all that stuff. And if the sketch artist wasn't very good, you were golden. You were just gone.
So
you were buying your own ranch and sitting pretty for a long, long time.
So maybe we throw some curveballs at you here. So this creature, whatever, alien, whatever, sends you back in time, and you go back to the 1800s. Do you have any skills to live in the 1800s? I can cook soup, beans, and cornbread. That's what I made for dinner. I could split wood. Well, if I was the younger, healthier me, sure, I could make it happen. Could you ride a horse?
I could. Yeah.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I rode one, but I wasn't like gallivanting around the range and stuff. But I would think so.
Okay.
I might be able to set up a camp and not get bit by a rattlesnake. I think I could do this. Plus, I mean, I might be able to get some kind of help from your creature alien dude or whatever.
No.
Sending me.
No. He's not going to help you. He's just sending you back in time. For whatever reason, you made him mad.
Great. Thanks, guy. Thanks.
Closes the door and just leaves you to be shot the first day out. You're like, I don't have
I'm so confused right now.
Well, see, I thought that's what you was saying. You wanted, like, for whatever reason, someone gave you an option to go back in time. What era would you choose? So I was thinking, well, what would I choose? I don't have any skill sets to live in the 1800s. I only have skill sets to live in the 1900s. Actually, probably the 2000s, actually. So,
Boy.
I was thinking I would go back to the 80s, probably. That's what I was thinking. Because I don't know if I have the skill sets to survive anything other than the 1900s.
What you have?
Yeah.
What you've actually survived?
I'm just saying. I mean, I've never really camped. I mean, I'm sure I could do it, but I mean, it's not like I can make a fire. I've never tried that, so so I would say. So this is what all I was thinking about. Like, how could I survive? I don't think I could survive.
We should get you out more, man.
Or so you're saying?
Are
you telling me right now you can make a fire?
Yes.
Because I'm going to record you making a fire.
That's fine. I can do it.
With no matches or
Yeah.
nothing.
No matches or nothing with the sticks.
Okay. I want you to record. I want your husband to record
I'm
this.
asking you. I'm saying, am I making it with sticks?
Well, you can't use anything that they didn't have at the 1800s.
How about a magnifying glass?
Whatever.
Okay, see? I survived.
I'm using my monocle. That's it.
Yeah, just imagine you're dropped into a certain time and you just have to figure things out on the fly. Like, yeah,
Exactly.
that would be scary.
Sure. That's why I picked the 1980s. I think I can. Hopefully I can survive the 1980s.
A lot of people didn't, Solomon. A lot of people didn't.
I know. So Ed, what era would you choose there?
Well, I was thinking about it, and I was like, one of the things that I've always been kind of fascinated with is like the early 1900s, just for the fact that that you see a lot of things that changed in medicine and just automobiles. I mean, so many things were happening back then.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting, but like you said, I mean, if we're just dropped into the early 1900s, I mean, those people went through hell.
Sure.
And I just can't imagine being anywhere except for like from 1976 on, because some of the stuff is just insane. Like they were giving people cocaine instead of like just regular medicine. I mean,
sure,
they were living in some wild times even in the early 1900s. So,
yeah.
But the other era that I always was curious about was like the time of the Vikings. So what years would that be? The Vikings.
I have no idea.
Okay. See, I don't feel bad. I don't even know. See, I don't even know what year it would be. So I would probably get my head chopped off in the first 10 seconds.
Well, it would have to be definitely AD sometime. I don't know.
Right.
1300s, maybe even further back than that. There's somebody watching this right now. They're like, oh, good grief, you guys are idiots.
Oh my God. I got hit in the head with a battle axe. Sorry. So I started thinking about it, and I thought about it like, you watch football games and guys go out and they tear their ACL, or you watch basketball and they tear their Achilles. You get into battle and you're using all of your muscles, everything, and people are chopping at your knees, at your at your ankles.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like, if you tear your Achilles in the first play, you're done. Like, you can't run off of the field and just be like, hey, can somebody come in for me? No, they're gonna chop you in half.
Hey,
so
Survival of the fittest,
You know.
man.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm thinking about by the time I was like 42, I had already had 2 pretty significant surgeries. So what would I do? I mean, I wouldn't have been any good at battle once I hit like 27. So,
Well, yeah, that's why I picked the 19. Like you said, I won't go past the 1970s because my age right now, I don't think I could. I don't think I would fare very well into the wilds.
Okay, well, here's one of the things that I thought about just being back in that time is just imagine what the smell was. The smell was like around all these people.
Sure.
It had to have been awful. It had to have been just absolutely insanely awful, but they probably got used to it. It's like living in a garbage dump. Just, ugh, gross. You would probably get chopped in half because of the smell.
See, and cause I've seen videos where people talked about people were not as dirty as movies in Hollywood make them out to be. They actually did, they did wash and everything.
I know, but there was no sewage.
Oh, you're talking. You're talking about like the bathroom.
I mean, come on. You go into somebody's yard where their dog has went like 10 times. You could smell it when you walk by.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So imagine like you got a community of let's say 1,000 people. I mean, you got rumpty dump of just,
I see. I would not want to live in towns. I would say.
I mean, what do you do? You just chuck it out the window, on your neighbor's house. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know.
So Candice, would you lived in a small like western town, or would you lived off to the side?
No, I would have lived off on my own land and just visited those little towns. But see, I was thinking that I was being like, we were looking at it from a point of being born into those time periods. Like if we were born during that time, so we would have had the skill set and not had Achilles, whatever's going on, and and limbs, and I don't know. I was thinking that in my head, we were just born into those time periods, so we had the skill sets, and if we were able to be born at whatever time.
So if we were born in those times, we would be dead right now because we're all over 40, or you're almost 40, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we probably would have died back in our 20s. So I mean,
we didn't really discuss the parameters of this subject. I mean, I kind of thought that we would just be thrown into the era if we could just go back. I kind of like that way because then it leaves you completely helpless,
clueless,
and dead within a short period of time. But yeah.
Yeah,
and we're worried about me with my ducklings, but this all just went way tragic. Like I was trying to make this really nice. Like you were born into it, you had a skill set, you enjoyed your life.
Well, let's go with your the way you're thinking. So you're born in the old West, the 1800s. What do you think you would have your skill set would have been like? Would you have been like a I don't know. So would you? It sounded like you were leaning more towards outlaw.
I would have been married at 10.
Like you were going more towards the outlaw.
I'd have been married at 10, raising a bunch of outlaws. That's what I would have been. I would have been like in the kitchen cooking on my wood stove, barefoot and pregnant. My husband would have been like 63, and I would have been 10. So I'd have just been raising outlaws. So, I mean, in all actuality, it probably would have been something like that. I'd have been an outlaw because I'd have been running from that crap. That's exactly what would have happened.
Well, I'm just saying, because you're like, wow, you're making this all tragic. When you was talking about the 1800s, you're like, yeah, bank robbing, no cameras. So apparently, Candice is all about being a robber, marrying some old dude. Apparently,
I could. Yeah, I had to. I wasn't getting married at 10. I had to support myself, and nobody's going to hire a woman unless it's at a saloon. So, nope, not having it.
There you go.
I had to rob trains and stuff.
Candice would have been the next Jesse James. And then Ed's apparently is going to be a Viking warrior. He is, so the next Redbeard.
A Viking that's just flinging poop on his neighbor's village or the neighbor's house. Well, it's funny because my daughter came up to me today and she goes, I'm going to do a podcast. And I said, well, what's your podcast going to be about? And she said, poop. And I was like, okay. And then my wife asked her, so what are you going to talk about as far as like poop goes? And she goes, you got to flush it down. So she was basically going to do the same podcast I was going to do. So great minds think alike.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, there we go.
She wouldn't have made it in the 1800s because she needs something to flush down. Like, she would not put up with piles next to her house.
Well,
yeah.
well, there you go. I think we probably should have collaborated more on what we should have done, but that was pretty entertaining.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
All right. Well then.
Yeah.
Well then, I guess we're done then, right?
I guess we're
I
done.
sure hope so.
Well, thank you for listening to the Lightatnight Podcast.